is because the more people agree with you, the more people you can persuade to agree with your bullshit, the less you will feel like your bullshit is bullshit, and the more you will feel like it's reality. See? This is fundamentally why all religious people become passionate, for the most part. I mean, not all religious people, but many religious people become very passionate about proselytizing their religion, preaching it, converting others, becoming missionaries. And this is one of the highest ideals of many religions, whether it's, Christian missionaries, evangelicals, Catholics, Mormons, even certain Buddhist traditions, the Hare Krishnas, various kinds of cults and so forth. One of their highest ideals is to be a missionary and to proselytize the gospel to somebody else. Why? It's just a defense mechanism. It's just projection. You see, it's a smokescreen against having to admit that what you've got a big steaming pile of shit. Of course, this is true in politics very obviously as well. The reason people get so animated about politics and want to convince others, want to debate others and win debates, decimate people in debates, eviscerate people in debates, so-and-so eviscerates this person, such and such a liberal eviscerates that conservative, this conservative eviscerates that liberal, all this. What is all this that you see going on YouTube and in the media? This is all just people creating smoke screens for their own bullshit. They're really always just trying to convince themselves. Because you know what? When you've got the real solid truth, you have no need to preach it to anyone. It's a very sort of stable, solid thing that actually makes you detached and dispassionate in a sense, in a good way. The only solution to this bullshit problem is personal direct experience, independent contemplation, lots of diverse research, looking at and exploring many diverse perspectives, and personal investigation into all of the most important aspects of reality and of life. If something is important to you, whether it's in your career or with your family or about your health and nutrition or about sexuality or about metaphysics and philosophy and spirituality and religion, if something is truly important to you, then you owe it to yourself to do a deep personal investigation, to contemplate about this subject as independently as possible, free from the influences of other people and of various kinds of groupthink and social dynamics. If politics is important to you, then you're going to study history, you're going to study human psychology, and not just buy into some ideology that somebody is spewing in some video. See? Because it's only through personal independent investigation that you will be able to weed through the bullshit. If you are too lazy to do personal investigation, then what you will end up with is bullshit. Bullshit is the default condition. You're going to have to work really hard. And you're going to have to be very discriminating and careful in your study of life to be able to come out of this thing not, chest deep in bullshit. Because there's so much of it. And it's been fed to you from the very beginning. Starting with your family, but then in school, in college, and at your job and everywhere else. So what's the point of calling everything bullshit? The point is simply to get you to really understand the importance of personal investigation, of independent questioning. You see, most people, they don't really question anything. They just take stuff for granted. They just take the distinctions and categories that their teachers give them for granted, or that their politicians or their political leaders give them or that the news gives them, right? You just sort of buy into the narrative, whatever the narrative tends to be, the prevailing narrative of your culture, you just buy into it. You don't question it. And in fact, of course, what many of these schools of thought try to teach you is not to question. Religion teaches you not to question. But of course, not just religion. Politics, culture, language, and even science and rationality. Really, they don't encourage you to question. There's a false, fake front that scientifically minded people and rationally minded people like to put up as though they are the ones who have assumed the positions of the ones who are independent thinkers and who question everything for themselves. This is almost never the case. It's complete bullshit. It's just an additional layer of meta bullshit. The scientifically minded people and rationally minded people, the skeptically minded people, are the ones who are the most full of shit. Sometimes even more so than the religious people. See? So the reason we're talking about this in such great length and detail and with such emphasis is because I really want you to understand the importance of personal investigation, personal questioning. And that's what Actualized.org is fundamentally about. This is not an ideology here. We are laying down principles for self-experimentation and personal investigation of reality, with the expectation that if we personally investigate things, this will be highly worthwhile because it'll allow us to sort through a lot of bullshit. And really, what other option do you have? When you find yourself in this situation that we're in, this house of cards cemented with shit, then your only option is either to buy into it and just to go along with it, or to start to question. Because it's only through questioning that you sort the wheat from the chaff, so to speak. Only through exploring lots and lots and lots of diverse perspectives will you be able to successfully navigate this maze, which is why I always emphasize exploring and integrating many diverse perspectives and not getting stuck on any one, because that's how bullshit gets made.